All right, welcome back, everybody, to Monday Takeaway here on this special edition on a Tuesday. Haven't been on for the past few weeks due to some difficulties with broadcasting and the fact that I was in the same room as Rob for quite a while. But we're back, and this will be a pretty lengthy edition. Rob over here with a revolving camera, making everybody dizzy.
No, you know what the thing is? I'm actually changing where I usually sit. Alright, there we go.
Still making everybody dizzy.
Yeah, we're good now, though.
Anyways, in case you forgot, I'm Chris. He's Rob, with the managers of Big East Coast Bias. And for the next hour or so, we'll be discussing everything that's been happening since we last got on the telecast here. Though we probably won't discuss everything at length because that would just bore the hell out of you. So we'll just talk about the major things.
I actually looked. Last time we did it, the Powerball was at $300 million. So
And now it's at $1.4 billion. So
it's been a while.
Yep, everything's been increasing tenfold.
Actually, because I did the one after Christmas by myself, so I think the last time you were here was before Christmas.
Yeah, it was.
You don't have a hat, so.
I don't. All my hats are kind of hidden right now, so.
Yeah, I ventured out in the single degree of weather to get my coffee because I'm committed to the gimmick.
Well, I only woke up an hour ago, so I'm still getting my bearings here.
All right, let's get to it. How have you been,
I've been all right. I've been sick for the last few days. Still am sick, but I'm taking some Tylenol. Took some Alka-Seltzer the other day. So
Yep.
That's why my voice may sound grainy right now.
Yeah.
Bit of a cold.
You had a travel day yesterday. Missed
I
all
did.
the snow and stuff in Chicago, so that was good.
Yeah, I got out of there just in time. I thought I was going to be I was delayed quite a bit because of a maintenance issue on a plane, but I flew into Boston, then flew to Newark in pretty quick time, so it was easy.
All right. I said we were going to do one between the first day of conference play and the marathon, and then we just couldn't logistically pull it off. So
Pretty much.
that seems like a long time ago, though. It might just be better to talk about the conference in general at this point, and then maybe touch on coming up this week because it's a pretty big week.
Yeah, I like that idea.
All right, so right now, you got your new boss, same as the old boss, Villanova.
Yep.
Bottom two are the teams that you expected to be, and then about 2 through 7 are, and that's just conference record. I mean, the overall records are obviously still what they are, but it's not a huge surprise, I guess. I mean, I'm almost willing to throw out the Xavier versus Villanova game because, first of all, no one wins at the Pavilion.
Pretty much.
And then also, Edmund Sumner got hurt real bad in the first couple minutes. You could tell Xavier just wasn't the same team after.
Yeah, that's true. Xavier has had their issues with Villanova in the past, but certainly losing their freshman point guard, who's been stellar so far, didn't help matters in as much as it probably hurt matters. But yeah, like you said, Villanova leading the conference, not really a surprise. DePaul and St. John's at the bottom, not really a surprise at all. But 2 through 7, little bit of some surprises here and there. Butler being 1-3 at this point. I wouldn't call it a disappointment quite yet. They faced a tough schedule thus far. Creighton being 3-1 is a bit of a surprise. They're certainly a very talented team, but to go off on the start that they're on right now, they almost look like an NCAA tournament team to me.
Well, because conference play started, Mo Watson's been out of his mind.
Yeah, he's definitely been a huge catalyst for them. They need their conference wins, though, because their non-conference schedule, like Marquette's, who we'll probably touch on a little bit, doesn't quite stack up to par with the likes of a Xavier or Providence or Georgetown or even a Seton Hall, in my opinion. So.
Yeah. Georgetown, I'm glad you mentioned them because they've been a bit of a surprise. I mean,
Yes,
sure
surprising in a good.
Yeah, I mean they've played DePaul twice, sure, and Marquette at home, so we don't know quite where they're at. But the thing about Georgetown is they still got that game with UConn coming up, so that can still boost them up too.
Yeah, they're going to be taken to the woodshed a little bit after their matchup with St. John's. They face Villanova, Xavier, and UConn, and then Creighton, and then Providence, and then Butler, and then Seton Hall, all in a row,
Actually,
sequentially.
speaking of Seton Hall, you want to talk about woodshed? Their next 3 games, they go to Providence, and they play Villanova and Newark, and then they go to Xavier.
Ugh.
And that's a team that could really use, a 2-1 stretch in there, and it's going to be tough.
Marquette also goes to the Pavilion on Wednesday night, and then they host Xavier on Saturday. So this is like you said, this is a pretty big week for the conference. Some big matchups to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, this week really could start being the difference of getting 4 teams to the tournament opposed to 6 or 7.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Let's see, any other surprises in general? I mean, Providence lost to Marquette. That was a weird game.
That was a very weird game.
I'm not going to put too much stock into it. Marquette has actually always given Providence trouble.
Yeah, Marquette still has beaten Providence in Milwaukee every single time that they've faced each other. So,
actually, quick note on Villanova: their chance of an unbeaten conference record is up to 9.1%, which seems really high. I haven't looked at all the other 4-0 teams. I can imagine UNC isn't that high, or I believe Indiana is 4-0. I don't think they're.
Yeah, Kansas is comparatively is at 1.7%. Let's see who who else is undefeated in conference play. West Virginia has a 0.04% of going unbeaten for the rest of the way. Let's see, is anyone undefeated in the Big Ten? Yes. Let's see, Maryland's is at 0.09.
Yeah, I know Indiana was at 0.03. Washington is at 0.
Not much stock there. Iowa also is actually Iowa's at 0.2. So that's actually I think that's actually even higher.
Yep.
That's higher than Maryland and Indiana's. Iowa, of course, already gotten much of their big conference games out of the way. They play Michigan State on the road. If they get through that game, maybe in some.
South Carolina's at 0.3. So really, 9.1 is kind of insane.
Yeah, and SMU, who's still unbeaten to this point in general, has a 1.7% chance of getting there. A 9.9% for Villanova is probably by far the highest in the entire country.
Well, the 1.7% for SMU is interesting because the American is much worse than the Big East. But are they is KenPom saying that SMU is that much worse than Villanova, or just because they didn't suffer a loss in non-conference, they're due eventually?
I think that's probably what it is. Because I'm looking at most of their percentages in terms of how much they're favored. The closest games that they have, there's only I'm counting about 3 of them that are at 60%. That are actually 4 that are at 60% or lower. That being a road game against Houston that they're still projected to win.
Yep.
Loss to Connecticut at 49%, which means it's basically a coin flip. A game against Memphis on the road that they're projected to win by only 2 points, and then a road game at Cincy that they're projected to lose by 1 at 48%. I think that's pretty much just saying, okay, they're probably going to be due for a loss. So,
yeah, I mean, Villanova has one game where it's under 50%. So
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I do still think the gap between Villanova and the rest of the conference is smaller than it has been in the past couple of years.
I do agree.
But, everyone was starting to worry a little bit about Villanova. They lost to Oklahoma, which no shame in that now. And Virginia, I mean, they just couldn't get stops, which is uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Villanova is still who we thought they were.
Yep, they are, and their 3-point shooting while still bad, it has improved lately. So they're shooting their way out of their slumps there. And Josh Hart and Daniel Ochefu have both been terrific so far, as one might expect. Jalen Brunson's still kind of finding his way, but he's at least shooting efficiently.
Yeah,
which you would,
Brunson's going to need another year.
yeah,
And I don't
definitely.
think there's any doubt that he comes back.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
No, I don't think so either.
and then, I mean, you've Josh Hart probably coming back. You've Brunson back. You're losing Ryan Arcidiacono, but that's not really that big of a loss because then one of the guys that was coming off the bench just slides in.
Yeah, you Phil Booth. So
And you're getting Amari Spellman. So
Yep.
Villanova's still going to be good next year.
Yep, and they'll have Jenkins and they'll have Bridges as well. So they'll be okay again next year too.
I mean, center's going to be a little bit of an issue, but
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I mean, they could probably put Spillman at the 5. So
Yeah.
I mean, what actually he's only 6'8", so that their size may be an issue.
Wait, no, it's Dylan Painter, 2016.
Yes, I believe so. So Dylan Painter is 6'10". They could put him there.
Yeah. So if you put him and Darryl Reynolds there, combined with, Spellman, Brunson, and Hart,
And Bridges as well, they'll be okay.
it's not going to kill you.
No.
Okay. Where are we going next?
Good question.
See, got some players of the week. That's all stuff that happened that you know about at this point.
Yep.
We're back to 4 teams. Well, we've had 4 teams in the poll, but we are back to, where are they? Back to Providence being ahead of Kentucky and Arizona.
Justifiably so.
Well, yeah. I mean, I thought Providence would get penalized a little more for. I'm actually, speaking of the poll, really glad that Kansas and Oklahoma stayed put.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was no reason for either of them to move.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. The only way that there would have been justification for that is if both of them lost their next games, and neither of them did. Kansas beat Texas Tech, and Oklahoma beat Kansas State. So.
Yeah. Seton Hall stopped receiving votes.
Yep.
After we kind of championed for it.
We did, and then it all went down the toilet.
Seton Hall's at a crossroads again.
They are. Seems like a familiar storyline, but we'll see how that plays out for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, is there anything you want to touch on from the games we went to?
I mean, we know how Butler's played. They don't really, and I kind of agree with Gary Parrish when he said that it's kind of weird that Butler dropped 4 spots for losing a close game to the number 6 team in the country.
Yeah.
I don't really know if that's necessarily justified.
No.
I know that they're 1-3 in conference, but they're still 12-4.
Yeah.
Still likely a tournament team unless things completely collapse underneath them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're projected to be 20-10, 9-9 with some good non-conference wins.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't really see that. So
no. Yeah, I mean, I think right now again the guaranteed teams in the tournament would be Villanova, Providence, Xavier, and Butler.
Yep.
With a couple others fighting. Let's just go into bracketology real quick from yesterday. 4 teams in. You have Villanova as the 2 in the Midwest, which doesn't matter, obviously, but they're 2. Xavier also a 2. Providence a 3. Butler 7. Marquette in the next 4 out.
And then Seton Hall also in the first 4 out.
Yeah, I miss Seton Hall. So Joe Lunardi not sold on Creighton yet.
Understandable.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, so Xavier would I actually like this draw for Xavier. Omaha and then California or Texas or Monmouth. I think those teams, they could at least get to the Sweet 16.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Cal's good, but I think Xavier matches up well against them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would actually like Xavier against Duke in the Sweet 16.
So would I. I think they'd body Duke, to be honest.
If they did face Iowa in the Elite Eight, that would be interesting.
It would be.
Which is crazy that we're talking about that, but
you know,
I don't think any school has done more in terms of, football and basketball this year than Iowa so far.
Yeah, they've been pretty good. Michigan State will certainly be up there if they are able to make a run.
Yeah, but they were supposed to be good in both.
That's true.
Iowa was supposed to be okay in basketball and, what they usually are in football.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Villanova, Utah and George Washington, I would probably take Villanova against either of them unless – no, I'd probably take Villanova against Utah because they're very similar.
Yeah.
I think Villanova's personnel is a lot better. Villanova Miami would be interesting.
Yeah, Miami would be tricky for them, I think. USC would be intriguing as well.
But other than that, I mean, it's weird. There's not, a bunch of really good teams right now.
No, there really isn't.
There's a bunch of, above average teams.
Yep.
And then Butler could face Providence in the Sweet 16, which would be interesting because those teams actually always play really good games.
Yep, and I'm not sure what that would make sense if that happens. So, yeah.
I think I'd actually rather see Providence against North Carolina in the Sweet 16, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That'd be very fun.
So that's that for now.
Yep.
Really doesn't do us any good to look at the bracket yet. Still all good.
Nope. Still a long, long way to go.
Because remember, the first one had Georgetown in it.
Yeah.
Which they still can, I mean.
Yeah, of course, but they still need a lot of help.
And had Xavier as an 8.
Yes.
Let's see here. Should we just do some mid-season awards? Conference and national?
Sure. I don't really care. That's fine.
I know one of our questions is all Big East first team, so we're not going to do that right now.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of questions.
We do. Which is nice. Thank you, everybody.
All right, let's see. Was it National Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year, Coach of the Year? Is that it?
Yeah.
And then first team, if you want to.
Well, National Player of the Year, I'd probably pick Buddy Hield. That's no disrespect to Chris Dunn. But Hield has been very good, very efficient.
And the voters in these things, they look at points per game. I mean,
it's not even just that. It's just Hield's been so good and so efficient and whatnot in pretty much almost every category. So. Yeah,
but I think Dunn still does more.
Yeah, but he's shooting 50-90 right now from field, 3-point, and from the free throw line. That's absurd.
You have to reward that. Yeah, definitely. I would probably agree, but I think Chris Dunn would be number 2 right now.
Yeah, I would say that he definitely has a good shot. There's a lot of good players right now. There's a shortage of very, very good teams and dominant teams, but there's a lot of really, really good players out there.
Yeah, which really that's all you can ask for, especially going into March.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess Freshman of the Year has to be Ben Simmons.
It's not really a contest.
Which again, I don't dislike Ben Simmons. I just don't like having him forced upon me.
Pretty much.
And
I just want to get this out of the way right now before anyone goes nuclear about it. The NCAA tournament will survive if LSU is not in the NCAA tournament. Okay? But let's all calm down before we all go nuclear here. The NCAA tournament like the Super Bowl, will get good ratings no matter who is in it.
Yeah.
As evident by every year that it's been in existence. There hasn't been one NCAA tournament that's been like, oh, it's had terrible ratings, it's in trouble. No. It's a freaking near month-long spectacle that draws attention from everybody and you get office pools with it. You get all this nonsense with it. It's crazy. Well, it's not going to die and it's not going to suffer if Ben Simmons and the LSU Tigers are not featured in it.
No, and the first 2 days give you an excuse to not do anything on a weekday, which is always fun. And
exactly.
I think if you look at Vegas, that first weekend of the tournament, it's only rivaled by a couple NFL playoff weekends.
Yeah, seriously. And I mean, sure. Is it bad per se that a very good player is not going to be participating in the NCAA tournament? Sure, of course. But is it a death knell to it? No. Is it in trouble? No. Are the ratings going to be down? No. Not really.
No, you know who is in trouble if LSU misses the tournament?
Johnny Jones.
Yes. Speaking of the tournament, we're doing a pool this year. There's some steps we got to go through. We'll get to it early. We waited too long last year.
Yep.
The whole thing. Anyway, coach of the year right now. I'm actually interested to see who you pick.
Probably Lon Kruger. I don't really know if that's much a doubt. I mean, everyone thought that Oklahoma was going to be good, but I don't know if anyone thought. I mean, and Final Four good and whatnot. I know usually some people are suckers for a team that came out of nowhere, got to be coach of the year or whatever. But the Oklahoma's been excellent. I think Kruger is playing a big part in that. I think other contenders include Ed Cooley, Chris Mack. Certainly, no one thought Xavier was going to be this freaking good. So if everyone wants to use that narrative, then everyone can. Same goes for Cooley and Providence. And aside from that, I mean, if Purdue didn't drop a game to Illinois, I would have said Matt Painter is a possibility. But unfortunately for them, they are now 14-3 with a very bad loss on the road to Illinois. So I think that might take them out of it. Certainly, if it keeps going like this, which probably won't, but if they continue to contend, Frank Martin in South Carolina is also a strong contender, because I don't think anyone in the world had South Carolina being one of the last two undefeated teams in the country.
No. I can tell you it won't be Larry Brown.
No, it definitely will not be. That's definitely very true. Larinaga is also a possibility down in Miami if Miami winds up winning the ACC.
Yeah. I don't think Tom Izzo is necessarily a possibility.
But
getting out of them.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, so.
But, Tom Izzo has only won Coach of the Year once, and it was back in 1998.
Yeah.
So, again, how these Coach of the Year awards work. So
I could see Fred McCaffrey being in too.
Yeah, I could see that as well.
But yeah, if I had to pick right now, it probably would be Lon Kruger. Even if I don't know if he's ever won one, but if he hasn't, it could even be lifetime achievement type thing at this point. I mean,
nope, he's never won one.
Yeah, so
make that of what you will.
He was Big 12 Coach of the Year last year. I don't know if people realize Lon Kruger has taken 5 different schools to the tournament,
which is pretty impressive.
That's never happened.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah. So. All right. So we did national. I guess we'll do Big East awards. I assume you have Chris Dunn, Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Right now,
it's probably either him or Josh Hart, in my opinion. Hart's just been so good with his efficiency and whatnot. He's been a very, very good wing for Villanova. So I think that's a fair statement to make. So.
By the way, is the NCAA tournament going to be in trouble if Marquette and LSU don't make it?
Of course.
Speaking of Marquette, freshman of the year, I assume we're unanimous on that one too.
Yeah, Ellinson's definitely leading the pack. If Sumner didn't get hurt, I'd say he'd probably be a strong contender, but he's missing a few too many games, unfortunately for him, to be a viable contender there. Aside from him, I mean, I can't really think of anybody else who's even close right now. So
no, Ellinson at 16-10 right now. So
crazy.
Yeah. Which Ben Bento's actually at 19-8, so he could actually get some Player of the Year. That's something you might have to worry about is that Don and Bento are going to split votes, and someone else is going to hop in.
That's also true, and we're also talking about the. And no offense to them, we're talking about the league that decided to give Player of the Year to Dunn and Ryan Arcidiacono. So when Arcidiacono was not even the best player on his team last year, that was Darren Hilliard. For those who weren't interested.
No, and the day the award came out early on, we heard some whispers that it might be two players, and obviously one was going to be Chris Dunn. We knew that. We spent a lot of time trying to find the other one out. I don't think anyone said Ryan Arcidiacono.
No.
So it was a bit of a shock.
Yes.
Okay, and then Coach of the Year. I mean, you mentioned the two guys. I think it'll probably end up going to Chris Mack. It really is higher between Providence and Xavier. Yeah.
So that's that. Sixth man of the year. I would say probably Keelan Martin, but I'm not sure how. Maybe one of Xavier's bigs.
Yep.
Depending on who it is. Maybe James Farr is also a strong contender. I haven't really paid too much attention to that race lately because I know Keelan he necessarily has fallen off a little bit. Butler themselves have fallen off a little bit, but Keelan appears to still be doing quite well for himself. So, Defensive Player of the Year, it's probably going to either be Daniel Ochefu or Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn is probably the best on-ball defender in college basketball right now. I know his D rating is quite good from what I remember the last time I saw it. Let's see here. Providence, his D rating is at 86.3. Which is quite good. That's about 6. It's 6 points better than the next man, Ricky Council, who only has 30 minutes played. And compared to Ronnie Bullock, it's almost 10 points. Daniel Ochefu, though, of Villanova, has a defensive rating of, let's see, I know it's something ridiculous. Just need to see this right now. Yeah, it's of 84.6. Which is I believe it's near the top in all of college basketball right now. Let's see here. Let's see, defensive. Yeah, that would rank him 4th in college basketball right now.
Yep.
And Chino Onuaku of Louisville currently has the lead at 78.6, which is insane. I know AJ Hammonds was up near there as well. He's taken a step back, though. He's at 81.5.
Yeah.
This has Ochefu at 81.3, by the way. I don't set 84.3 on the stat sheet, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
So, it's probably going to be either one of those two. You're basically splitting hairs. You either take the best on-ball defender or the best off-ball defender. So,
yeah.
All right, so now let's have some fun with this all Big East stuff.
Yeah, I believe it was Kim Adams who asked the question.
Yeah.
He said Player of the Year +5. So I'm gonna have to go super traditional with it, but you actually can this year, though. I mean,
yeah, you pretty much, with how it's turned out, you pretty much can.
Dunn, as your one guard. Your other guard would probably be
Josh Hart.
Josh Hart would be on there, yeah. Actually, if we are going player of the year plus, no, you know what? Let's just do it this way right now. I think you have to find a spot for Roosevelt Jones on there.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Bentel. Otrefu should be there. And then, yeah, if we're using Gunn as player of the year, Henry Ellenson.
That's pretty much what I was going to say. I think the first team is very easy this year. If you're doing player of the year plus 5, you can put Gunn as your player of the year, and then you have Josh Hart, Roosevelt Jones, Bentel, Ellenson, and Ochefu. Boom, right there.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to try and find a spot for James Farr, but he might just miss out.
Yeah, I think he'll probably end up on the second team, even though the Big East does it so freaking weird. But
I mean, you said the thing like last year where there's 7 guys on the first team, James Farr will be there.
Yeah, I think the more difficult thing, honestly, is figuring out who's on that second team because there's so many good players around the conference.
Oh yeah,
I don't think the challenge isn't so much the All Big East first team; it's finding 5 or 6 spots or so for the second team.
Yeah,
because you have guys like Mo Watson, who's coming on as of late. You have Luke Fisher at Marquette.
Mm-hmm.
You have Keelan Martin at Butler. You have Kellen Dunham at Butler as well, who's been shooting himself out of a slump.
Mm-hmm.
You could put, Billy Garrett's been doing well. DSR has been doing all right lately for Georgetown. Whitehead and Rodriguez have been doing well. You have any Xavier player really that you can make a case for, and you could even I wouldn't stop you if you tried to make a case for even Federico Mussini at St. John's, who's been a very nice bright spot for them.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's definitely tougher.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything else? Or should we just go to questions?
I think we can go to questions. For what it's worth, by the way, KenPom's All Big East team, as of this moment, I know it usually is fluid, is Chris Dunn, Josh Hart, Daniel Ochefu, James Farr, and Ben Bentel. So that's just taking. I'm assuming he's just taking the 5 best players in the conference. You have 2 guards, 2 guards, 1 like forward. 6'8" Ben Bentel. So he's playing pretty big.
Yeah.
If that lineup was trotted out there, good luck stopping that.
Yeah, again, I mean, I would swap Ellenson for Farr, but...
Yeah, but Farr has been a very good rebounder.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's pretty much why he's probably on there. Very good rebounder, very good shot blocker. Doesn't turn the ball over much at all. So...
Yeah, that was one of the things I noticed about Ellenson when we were at Marquette St. John's. He gets his shot blocked and he takes charges.
Yeah.
That'll happen. He's young. So,
Honestly, I'm looking through all the all-conference teams here on KenPom right now. I think the Big East is the best. I don't think it's actually close. The Big Tens is pretty good. It's Denzel Valentine, Jared Uthoff, or however the hell you pronounce it. I probably botched that. Sorry. AJ Hammonds, Karis LeVert, and Melo Trimble. That's very good.
Pretty good.
I think that's better than the Big 12s, which is Hield, Perry Ellis, Frank Mason, Gorgeous Niang, and Devin Williams. Frank Mason is okay.
Yeah.
He's quite efficient. Doesn't turn the ball over at all. Good assist man, but yeah, I could find better point guards out there. So
yeah,
the Pac-12s is Gary Payton II, Jakob Pertl. Finally pronounced that right on the show. Ryan Anderson of Arizona, Tyrone Wallace of California, and Josh Scott of Colorado. Pretty solid team.
Yeah, I mean, I'd put Chris Boucher on there, but
yeah, same. The ACCs is Grayson Allen, Bryce Johnson, Malcolm Brogdon, Anthony Gill, and Brandon Ingram.
Yep.
Good backcourt. I'm not sold on that front court besides Bryce.
No.
Brogdon's good, but I I mean, Ingram's come on as of late. So the Big Ten's is good. Let's see the SECs. Ben Simmons, Stephon Moody, Jamal Murray, Wade Baldwin, and Kevin Punter. That's okay.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons and Jamal Murray and Stephon Moody are very good, but everything else is just kind of lit.
Mm-hmm.
I would take the Big East over everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty damn good lineup.
Yep.
You pretty much have everything you want. You have a do-it-all point guard. You have a good wing, a very good versatile post guy in Bento, a great rebounder and shot blocker in Farr, and a very good off-ball defender in Daniel Ochefu, who can also protect the rim and score for you efficiently at that. So,
yeah,
like I said, good luck stopping that when you have two guys that are 6'10", a 6'8" guy, and the best point guard in the country and best player in the country, arguably, and Josh Hart as well on the wing.
Yeah. All right, to the questions.
Yes, let's answer some questions here.
Just real quick, as we get to them, if you were one of the people that told us to go to Oscars in Milwaukee, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. That burger that I had was excellent.
Very good.
And so were the cheese nuggets.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be expected.
And I had a spotted cow, and it was delicious.
Let's see. We have a Mets and Islanders fan for his Twitter handle here. Predictions for St. John's next year.
Well, I predicted that guy's probably from Long Island or from Queens.
Yeah.
I might be stereotyping a little bit, but that's what I'm guessing. Predictions for St. John's next year. Well, right now St. John's is 7-10.
Yeah.
They're projected to go 2-16 in conference, which would put them at 9-22. I honestly don't see that. I think they're going to win. I think they might win 3 conference games this year and get to double-digit wins.
Yep.
I honestly do, because, and I know moral victories, yada yada yada, but they're playing everybody tough.
Yep.
They almost had that game against Marquette. It's just that foul trouble kind of unearthed them, and the guys in Marquette who weren't making shots in the first half were making shots in the second half because they had a lot of open looks and whatnot. But
yeah, and
as far as that goes, I mean, if they're playing that tough this year, next year when they get Pons, when they get Bashir Ahmed, or however the hell you pronounce it, and any wild cards that they have, I think middle of the pack for the Big East isn't a crazy thing to expect. I don't think that they're going to be that bad next year. I really don't.
No, me neither.
I think this year, pretty much, as we all expected, they take their lumps, and it's just what happens sometimes when you have a cast of characters together that haven't played much at all with each other. And it's not like, they're trotting out a bunch of 5-star players like a Kentucky would or whatever. They don't just recycle one and dones and whatnot. This is just how it is for them right now. But from what I've seen so far, even if the wins aren't there, the talent might be there, and the willingness to compete for 40 minutes is there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you pretty much. So that's pretty much my prediction for next year for them to be in the middle of the pack, and I guess for the rest of this year as well. You just have to hope it doesn't demoralize them too much that they start getting blown out towards the end of the season.
Yeah, of course. I agree.
All right.
Next question: how does Marquette do in the Big East next year if Ellenson leaves?
I'll let you take this one first, since I just talked a lot about St. John's.
Well, obviously he's going to be a hard guy to replace, but I think Marquette's in a pretty good situation. Luke Fisher will be back. Juwan Johnson will be back. You got Andrew Rousey coming in. Sandy Cohen will be back. Dwayne Wilson will be back. So really, Ellenson is actually the only person on the current Marquette team, barring a transfer, that might be gone next year.
And
their one true senior is a walk-on.
Yep.
And so they're going to return a lot, and then they're going to bring in Sam Hauser
and Brendan Bailey as well.
No, I think
So,
he's doing the Mormon mission.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. So they'll have still, yeah, like you said, they'll have Sam Hauser.
Oh, he's good. Yeah, you'll have another year. Tracy Carter developed. Uh, Honestly, Ellenson's not the person that Marquette needs to worry about leaving.
Who do you think is?
Probably their coach. I don't think.
I don't.
I
I
don't
don't
think.
think we'll just.
I don't think yet, but
No.
it's always going to be in the back of your mind. I mean, he's
Yeah.
a guy. He's having success.
Yeah, I can see that. I guess. Like you said though, this team's gonna be bringing back a lot next year, and that's always very helpful, especially for a young group of guys.
Yeah.
And
really, Andrew Rousey is going to have a huge impact because you figure he can start at point, you slide Dwayne Wilson to the 2, or keep Juwan Johnson there, and then Sandy Cohen becomes your new. He stays in his role at the 3 or you slide Juwan Johnson to the 3 even. I mean, they have personnel where they're not going to be quite as big as next or as they are now because Ellenson is 6'10", but they're going to still be all right. And I think Matt Help can play a big role next year too.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up also. He can probably provide them some length. They certainly have their fair share of guards with Rousey. It was weird to say that, I swear to God. Rousey, Carter, Cheatham, Dwayne Wilson, Juwan Johnson, even as well.
And to be honest with you, it might actually benefit them because, right now, you're playing with a 5-star guy. You're playing with a guy who will probably be in the NBA next year. So, you're making more of an effort to get the ball to him.
Yeah.
And even if it's not always, the smart play. So I'm not saying, Ellenson leaving is going to benefit them. Obviously, it's going to be harder for them, but in the long run, it might work out better for them.
I agree.
And then, of course, if he stays next year,
which probably won't happen, but
no, I really don't think it will. But if
he actually did, I'd say this team would be a tournament team.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think they, at worst, should be as good as they are this year, even without Ellenson.
Yeah.
Just because you have another year of all these guys, and Andrew Rousey, who I believe he was 20-plus points per game at wherever it is he came from, somewhere out
UNC.
Yeah, one of the UNC.
I think.
Asheville,
that's right.
Yeah, 20.3 and 19.2 in his 2 seasons there.
Yeah,
so
not bad. Good score.
I mean, it should go down a little bit with better competition, obviously, but he'll get buckets.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and again, I think Sam Hauser, very nice player. Again, the size is going to be not as prevalent, but you take what you can get.
Yep, exactly.
Let's see here. Another question. Early first team All Big East. Already took care of that. All survived the hump. Well, I said it earlier. They got to go 2-1 against Xavier, Providence, and Villanova.
Yep.
That's where they're at. I mean, if they go 0-3, if they go 1-2, okay, maybe.
If they go 0-3 and drop to 2-5, the margin for error thins out so much.
Yeah.
They cannot afford 0-3.
No.
2-1 is their best case scenario, I think. 3-0 is expecting way too much. Even 1-2 would just be like, oh well, at least we got a big win against one of the top 15 teams in the country. So,
I mean, it's kind of tough for me to believe that they're going to go to Cintas Center and win.
But stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little tough for me to believe that they're going to go to Providence and win. I mean, I know Marquette did it, and Seton Hall beat Marquette. So
I don't know if necessarily, the game against Villanova plays into their hand because guess there's something to be said about the New Jersey crowd, but it's just like, it's.
I mean, they did beat Villanova in Newark last year.
Yeah, they did. They did, and they did beat Wichita and Newark earlier this year. So, or actually, I should say last year as well because that was in December.
I mean, if they go 9-9 in conference, get to 19-11 on the year, they're going to need a Big East tournament win or two.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It really comes down to these next 3 games.
Yep.
Do you see any non-senior Xavier players leaving this year? Off the bat, not really, but let me see.
I think that the one guy that maybe could be leaving is Jalen Reynolds. That's it, though.
Yeah.
That's the only guy that I could possibly see leaving this year because Reynolds is 6'10", 238. He's a big body, good shot, good rebounder, good shot blocker.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they say? Well, I don't know if they say this, but you know how it works in the NBA. If you're tall and you're big, you can provide a good defensive presence, you'll be a mainstay in the league forever.
Oh yeah.
So people could be looking at him and thinking, okay, he may not be the most efficient offensive player right now. He's still a little raw. He has improved. He has improved though from his years in the past, I believe. Yeah, actually his shooting percentage is down a little bit. But his offensive game's still not there yet. But people could be saying, okay, let's take a flyer on this guy. He's 6'10". He could provide us some size that we may or may not desperately need. Mm-hmm. And his NBA prospects could be high. But that's it. I don't think anybody else on this team could leave for the NBA early. I don't think Blewett's there yet. Miles Davis, not there yet, even though he's a junior. I don't necessarily think his NBA game is there. I'm not JP McCurra.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jalen's the only guy I could see leaving. That's not a senior.
Mm-hmm.
And if Jalen does leave, then I am going to be very intrigued to see how this Xavier team looks next year too.
Yeah, because you're losing Jalen Farr then.
And Remy Abell.
Yeah. So. Yeah. All right, another All Big East first team question, which we took care of. What's Georgetown's best shot in an at-large bid right now? Well, not as bad as it was at one point.
No, the prospects look a little better.
They're probably going to go to the Garden and beat St. John's.
Yeah. To
get to 4-1 or 11-6, 4-1. Then they have Villanova in DC, which maybe. I mean,
they beat the stuffing out of them last year in DC. That game's not on Martin Luther King Day, so Villanova's not due to lose.
The game is also on CBS.
It is. That could be a big day. Big day. Speaking of which, I need to do the commentators post after this show. So
this week. I'm actually see real quick if we have announcers for CBS on.
I doubt it. That'll probably come on. Thursday.
Yeah.
That's usually when. Yeah. That's usually when that happens.
Nope, nothing yet. But I am hoping it's Vern and Raftery.
I think there's a solid chance it could be. I know lately Vern has been tried out every now and then. I could see if they want to do it again, they could do Carter Blackburn and Bill Raftery like they did at Indiana Ohio State the other day.
Bill Raftery, who did 2 games the other day.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the actual question.
Yes, back to the actual question.
After Wednesday, if Georgetown beats St. John's, they got 2 tough games against Villanova and Xavier. Again, that UConn game though just keeps jumping out to me because I know it's out of conference, but that'd be a big win, and that's the type of win also in the middle of conference play that could really get you going in the right direction.
Yep.
Because if they go 500 in the conference, they're going to finish the year 16-15, and that's not going to do it.
Nope.
So I think right now, if they win either, the Villanova Xavier game and then win against UConn and then kind of ride that momentum against UConn into wins over Creighton and Providence, then it gets a little bit different. There are going to be a few teams that need Big East tournament wins to get into the tournament.
Yeah, let's not cut any corners here. Their margin for error is still very small.
Yeah.
So basically, the best chance they have of getting a large bid is to not trip over themselves for the rest of the way. 3-1 in conference right now, with a big set of games coming up versus Villanova, Xavier, Creighton, and Providence, and Butler and Seton Hall before they face St. John's again at home on Monday, February 8th. So this is about a month-long stretch that they're about to go on.
Yep.
If they win against UConn on the road, that looks pretty good for them. Since UConn's kind of like I don't know if they're necessarily a fringe NCAA team right now. I think they pretty safely have an at-large bid, even though I also don't know if they're struggling, but they're right now. UConn's best win is on a neutral floor against Michigan, and then a road game against Texas, and then a home game against the skittish Ohio State team. So UConn also needs wins, so that game's going to be pivotal for both teams. I guess 2-2 would be the most ideal scenario for them, at least in that 4-game stretch of Villanova, Xavier, Creighton, and Providence. If you want to stretch it out, I'd say probably 3-3, 4-2 versus Butler and Seton Hall.
Yeah.
If they go under 500, they're screwed.
If you look in the middle to end of February, they go Seton Hall, Xavier, Butler at home, all three. So those might end up being pretty big games. Yeah,
but I do think that if they go 2-4 or something, or disaster happens and they go 1-5, then they need to win the Big East tournament to get in the NCAA tournament. I still think they may need to get to the Big East semifinals to get there. So
yeah, I could see that. Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Let's see. Another question. Is Mikal Bridges the most impactful freshman on Villanova's roster right now? It's probably still Brunson.
I mean, it's pretty much between those two. DiVincenzo hasn't quite gotten his feet wet. Delaney, obviously, with the hip injury, hasn't been able to see the floor. It is pretty much between Bridges and Brunson. Brunson has been more efficient, but he's also played more minutes. Bridges has been good defensively as far as a shot blocker and in steal percentage. So if you like Brunson's offensive game, you're going to take him. If you like how Bridges has played defensively, you're going to take him. So I think pretty much it's a coin flip.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. That's fair. I don't disagree.
Yeah. So there you go.
Number of teams Big East needs to reach second weekend to validate regular season to national media.
Well, certainly more than one.
Yeah. I mean,
probably 2 to 3
last year, and it didn't do much. I would say 2 or 3. I mean, it depends on seeds too. They've been going over both 2s. Just getting to the second weekend isn't really enough.
Right.
It's kind of to be expected.
Yep.
So 2 or 3, I think.
Yep.
Who are key transfers / red shirts we should keep an eye on next season? Well, we talked about Andrew Rousey.
Foster at
Marcus Foster, yeah.
Yep.
Eric Paschal.
Yep.
Also at Creighton, Justin Patton.
Yes, I agree.
Let's see, just going through here. I don't believe Butler has any of either.
No.
Nope, don't. Talked about the Creighton guys. Paul doesn't have any. Well, DePaul has you got Marlon Jones coming from JUCO. He's been pretty good down there.
Yep.
And he'll actually be in the mix because Stimmons is going to graduate.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Georgetown, I don't believe has any red shirts at the moment.
nope. All their freshmen go right to the Wolves. So
They have well, hold on. Yeah, they still have Okoye a Gao.
is he going to be playing next year, or is his eligibility gone?
No, I think it's still there because he got hurt this year in practice.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know if it was last year eligibility.
He's only technically a sophomore right now with the red shirt. So
okay, so he'll probably be in the mix then.
Marquette, we already talked about Rousey. Providence doesn't have any of either, I don't believe. I don't think Seton Hall has any.
No, I don't think so either. St. John's, obviously,
St.
Levesque getting there.
Count him as whatever he is.
Yep.
Which I don't know how's that going to work. Is he going to end up being able to get a red shirt this year? Or?
I have honestly no idea. That's going to be an intriguing situation to watch.
Actually, Tariq Owens also.
Yeah.
Then we talked about Eric Paschal.
Yep. And Xavier doesn't really have anybody, so.
So that's a little rundown for you.
Yep.
All right. What other questions do we have here? We still have a lot more. The Big East sends 5 teams to the tournament. Who is the 5th? Creighton.
Basically, flip a coin between Creighton and Marquette.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
Where do you think St. John's will be in 2 years under Chris Mullins? Is a good question because we did next year. It all depends how well he's able to recruit New York.
Yep.
If he can get more guys to start staying home, sure. It's hard to look that far ahead, though.
Yeah, it is.
So I think they're going to keep, on the upward slope under Chris Mullins. So that's good. Seton Hall, Marquette, and Creighton. Which ones make the NCAA tournament out of that group? I trust Marquette and Creighton a lot more than Seton Hall right now.
Yep. But Seton Hall has the better non-conference schedule, so.
Well, yeah. And actually, we threw a poll up the other day of who everyone thinks the 5th team was going to be. Go back to it real quick. Because I know it was close. All right, let's see. 358 votes, assuming Villanova, Butler, Providence, and Xavier are safely in. Who's the 5th team at the moment? Creighton has 33%, Marquette with 29%, Georgetown, Seton Hall with 19%.
Yep. So
Creighton won narrowly, but again, it is between non-conference and conference right now. And it's easy to be impressed with the conference games so far, but there's been, a lot fewer of them. So, take your pick. That'll do it for questions.
Yep.
So, I don't know if we have anything else. I mean, I guess we can run through this week real quick.
I suppose so.
You don't sound so excited.
No, I'm just saying we can do that.
Tonight, Xavier plays DePaul, I believe. Yep. Xavier's favored by about 19 in that game.
Then Providence plays Creighton, which will be a fun matchup.
Actually, this is the first week that the Big East has started the 6:30, 8:30 games.
Yes.
Which is kind of nice, but it really still doesn't matter if they don't give a proper pregame show.
Pretty much. Which they won't.
I really do think Fox Sports 1 is trending in the right direction with some things. But, you have Steve Lavin and Rob Stone already, and you have them do the halftime stuff and all that. give them a 30-minute pregame show. I mean, Inside the Big East is a great program.
But
you can't give NASCAR reruns and Colin Cowherd reruns as a lead into the basketball. I mean,
well,
Anyway, Georgetown St. John's at the Garden tomorrow night, which I think Chris Mullen actually said the other day. It doesn't have any more special meaning to him, which is surprising.
He might just be saying that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I think he was probably just saying that, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm actually, and I said I was going to be mad about it. They're not sending Bill Raftery that game. We can't do sweater game stuff. Well, we're going to do sweater game stuff anyway. Because, come on.
Well, yeah.
Way up. You're still going to have Luke on the second there. You're still going to have John Thompson there. So,
yep.
We're going to do it. So that's a game tomorrow night. Marquette Villanova at the Pavilion tomorrow night. Villanova's got a lot of games at the Pavilion this year.
Yep.
I believe it's because Wells Fargo is hosting a regional.
Yeah, I think so.
Thursday, nothing. Friday, there's nothing. Saturday, St. John's travels to Hinkle to face Butler. And then Villanova Georgetown on CBS. Xavier Marquette in Wisconsin, which actually might be a tough game for Xavier and could go a long way for Marquette.
Yes.
And then Seton Hall Providence in Providence. Then Sunday, Creighton and DePaul. And actually, the Big East isn't playing any Martin Luther King games this year.
Surprising. Well, then, like I said, that could be good for Villanova.
Yeah. Yeah. Martin Luther King Day, we should be back to normal by then. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
I don't know, because obviously it's good to do these every week, but with conference games, there's a lot less to talk about now.
Well, yeah, but we can still discuss.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I mean, stuff will still happen. So.
Yeah, exactly.
That
about does it.
Yeah, I mean, that might be about it here.
Yep.
Just real quick, getting back to that Butler St. John's game, it is Stay Positive Day at Hinkle on Saturday, and if you're there, they're taking donations for Andrew Smith. You can also do them online. We retweeted the link yesterday, and that's a good thing to do.
Yeah, certainly just hoping for the best there.
Yep. So that'll do it here.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in if you did. This has been a Monday Takeaway on a Tuesday, special edition.
Yep.
For Rob, I'm Chris. Be sure to stay tuned here on Big East Coast Bias as we continue on with the conference season. Just about 2 months away from March. So, we're almost near the postseason already, as hard as that is to believe.
Yeah, it's flying by.
It's only going to get better from here. So, take care, everybody.